Marcus Chun stood in the elevator of Pinnacle Tower, his worn maintenance uniform a stark contrast to the gleaming marble and gold fixtures surrounding him. His hands, calloused from years of fixing broken pipes and faulty wiring, gripped his toolbox a little tighter as the numbers climbed higher. Floor 47. The executive level. A place where men like him only existed to fix what the powerful had broken. He didn't belong here and everyone knew it. But Marcus had learned long ago that survival meant keeping your head down, doing the work and getting out. Single father to an 8-year-old daughter, Maya, he couldn't afford to lose this job. Not when the rent was due. Not when Maya's school supplies needed replacing. Not when every dollar counted. The elevator doors slid open, and Marcus stepped into a world of impossible wealth. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the entire city. Leather chairs that probably cost more than his car. A receptionist who looked at him like he'd tracked mud across sacred ground. "Maintenance," he said simply, holding up his ID badge. She barely glanced at him. "Executive bathroom. Third door on the right. Make it quick." Marcus nodded and moved past her, his footsteps silent on the plush carpet. He'd been here before, countless times, always invisible. Just another worker bee in the hive of corporate America. He was fixing a leaking faucet when he heard the voices outside the bathroom door. Two men, their conversation casual and cruel. "Did you see the new quarterly projections?" The first voice dripped with satisfaction. "We're cutting the maintenance staff by 30%. More profit for the shareholders." Marcus froze, wrench in hand. "About time," the second voice replied. "These people are expendable. Honestly, half of them barely speak English. Just hire cheaper labor and pocket the difference." Marcus's jaw clenched. He recognized that second voice. Richard Caldwell, Senior Vice President. A man who'd never worked a day of real labor in his life. "Exactly," Caldwell continued. "I mean, take that maintenance guy who's always around. What's his name? Chin? The one with the kid? Guy lives in some cramped apartment in the East District. Probably on welfare too. These people need to learn to pull themselves up by their bootstraps instead of relying on corporate handouts." The first voice laughed. "Corporate handouts? Rich, you pay them minimum wage." "Which is generous," Caldwell shot back. "They should be grateful to even have jobs. If they don't like it, they could just move up. Get an education. Stop being so lazy." Marcus's hands trembled. He wanted to burst through that door, to tell them exactly what it meant to work 70-hour weeks while raising a daughter alone. To explain how his wife had died 3 years ago, leaving him to navigate parenthood and poverty simultaneously. To describe the nights Maya went to bed while he worked a second job just to keep the lights on. But he stayed silent. Because men like him always stayed silent. He finished the repair, packed his tools, and slipped out of the bathroom. The executives had moved on, their cruel words hanging in the air like poison. That evening, Marcus picked Maya up from after-school care. She bounced into his arms, her backpack nearly as big as she was. "Daddy, guess what? We're learning about careers in class. And I told everyone my daddy fixes everything in the whole city." Marcus smiled despite the weight on his chest. "Not the whole city, baby. Just a few buildings." "That's still a lot," Maya insisted. "Miss Rodriguez says every job is important. She says the people who keep buildings running are heroes." Heroes. Marcus didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a man drowning in a system designed to keep him underwater. They walked home through streets that smelled of exhaust and fried food, past homeless encampments and corner stores with bars on the windows. Their apartment was small, one bedroom that Maya occupied while Marcus slept on a pull-out couch. But it was clean. It was home. As Marcus heated up leftover pasta for dinner, Maya did her homework at the tiny kitchen table. She looked up suddenly, her expression serious beyond her years. "Daddy, why do you look so sad?" Marcus forced a smile. "Just tired, sweetheart." "Is it because of money again?" His heart broke a little. 8 years old, and she already understood their struggle. "We're okay," he lied. "We're always okay." Maya studied him with those wise, knowing eyes. "When I grow up, I'm going to make lots of money so you don't have to work so hard." Marcus crossed the room and pulled her into a hug, fighting back tears. You just focus on being a kid, okay? That night, after Maya fell asleep, Marcus sat on his pull-out couch and stared at the eviction notice that had arrived that morning. 2 months behind on rent. The landlord wanted them out by the end of the week. His phone buzzed. A text from his supervisor. Emergency repair needed at Pinnacle Tower. Executive office flooding. Get there now. Marcus closed his eyes. Of course. Because the universe had a sick sense of humor. He called his neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, who agreed to watch Maya. Then he grabbed his toolbox and headed back into the night. Pinnacle Tower at midnight was a different beast. Empty hallways, flickering lights, the hum of HVAC systems the only sound. Marcus took the elevator to the 47th floor, where water was indeed pouring from a burst pipe in one of the corner offices. He got to work immediately, shutting off the water main and assessing the damage. He was elbow-deep in the wall when a voice startled him. Working late. Marcus turned to find a woman standing in the doorway. She was dressed casually, jeans and a sweater, but something about her presence commanded attention. She looked to be in her 50s, with silver-streaked hair and eyes that seemed to miss nothing. Yes, ma'am, Marcus replied. Burst pipe. Should have it fixed within the hour. She stepped closer, studying the damage. That's Richard Caldwell's office. Marcus tensed at the name but said nothing. I'm Elena, the woman said. I work here too. Late night for both of us, I suppose. I suppose, Marcus agreed, returning to his work. Elena watched him for a moment. You look exhausted. Marcus let out a tired laugh. Long day, long week, long life. I understand, she said softly. Sometimes it feels like the system is designed to crush people. Doesn't it? Something in her tone made Marcus look up. There was genuine empathy in her eyes. Yeah, he admitted. Yeah, it does. Elena handed him a better wrench from his toolbox. You have family? A daughter, Maya. She's 8. And you're doing this alone? Marcus nodded. Wife passed away 3 years ago. Cancer. I'm sorry. Elena's voice carried real weight. That's incredibly hard. They worked in companionable silence for a while, Elena occasionally handing him tools or holding a flashlight. Finally, as Marcus tightened the last pipe fitting, he made an offhand comment he'd regret and cherish forever. You know, he said with a bitter laugh, my landlord's kicking us out. Can't make rent. Maybe I should just move into one of these fancy offices. At least the plumbing would work. Elena smiled. You know, that's not the worst idea. Marcus realized how inappropriate his comment had been. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. No, Elena interrupted. I think you're right. The people who keep these buildings running deserve better than scraps. Marcus finished the repair, packed his tools, and thanked Elena for her help. She handed him her business card. If you ever need anything, she said, call me. Marcus pocketed the card without looking at it and left, assuming he'd never see her again. The next morning, there was a knock on his apartment door. Marcus answered, expecting the landlord. Instead, he found Elena standing there, but she looked different. Professional, powerful, accompanied by 2 people in expensive suits. Hello, Marcus, she said with a warm smile. He stared, confused. Elena? How did you? I should have introduced myself properly last night, she said. I'm Elena Reeves, CEO and founder of Pinnacle Corporation. I own the building where you work. Marcus's world tilted. I was doing a late-night inspection when I found you, she continued. And after our conversation, I did some research. I looked into the employee files. I found out what happened to your wife. I found out about your daughter. I found out that you work 72 hours a week and still can't make ends meet because I haven't paid people like you what you're worth. Tears welled in Marcus's eyes. I also, Elena said, her voice hardening, heard a recording from the executive bathroom yesterday. We have audio surveillance in all common areas. I heard everything Richard Caldwell said about you and your colleagues. Marcus's breath caught. Caldwell was terminated this morning. Elena continued, along with 3 other executives who've been exploiting and demeaning our workers, and I'm implementing immediate changes. Starting wage for all maintenance staff is now $52,000 a year with full benefits. Company-subsidized housing. College funds for employees' children. Marcus couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Elena stepped forward. As for your immediate situation, I'm personally covering your back rent and security deposit on a new apartment. 2 bedrooms. Safe neighborhood. Good schools. Consider it a signing bonus for your new position. Director of Facilities Management. Salary $110,000 a year. Marcus dropped to his knees, overcome. All those years of struggle, of being invisible, of being told he was worthless, shattered in an instant by someone who finally saw him. Elena knelt beside him. You're not invisible, Marcus. You never were. You're the backbone of everything we've built, and it's time we treated you like it. Maya appeared in the doorway, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Daddy? Why are you crying? Marcus pulled his daughter close, tears streaming down his face. Because sometimes, baby, the world surprises you. Sometimes it actually gets better. Elena smiled at them both. Welcome to your new life, Mr. Chun. You've earned every bit of it. And for the first time in 3 years, Marcus Chun allowed himself to believe that maybe, just maybe, heroes didn't just exist in Maya's storybooks. Maybe they walked among us. Maybe they looked like tired maintenance men who refused to give up. And maybe, sometimes, justice actually prevailed.